Nikola Jokic just continues to make history. This is your Denver Sports Daily for March 10th.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
The Nuggets played 2 games this weekend. On Friday, they took on the Phoenix Suns, and yesterday, they played the OKC Thunder. Unfortunately, the Nuggets lost 127-103 to the Thunder yesterday, but they were able to get a 149-141 overtime win against the Suns. And that game, wow, I could talk about it for hours. That was incredible. In that game, Nikola Jokic made history, recording the first ever 30-point, 20 rebound, and 20 assist game. He had 31, 21, and 22. That's incredible. He was responsible. I'm not even counting the threes that he assisted. He was responsible for at least 77 points. Oh my gosh. That is nuts. Those are nuts stats. Like that's just not really possible. But Nikola Jokic makes it possible. In 50 years, when people are looking back on the NBA as it is today, they're going to look at Nikola Jokic the same way that we look at Wilt Chamberlain. This guy's putting up stats that have never been seen before. You would think that the only other person who would have a 30-20-20 game is Wilt Chamberlain, but no, Nikola Jokic takes the cake for that. Now, in that game, 7 players finished in double digits, and 3 of those had 20 points. Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and Christian Braun all had 20 points. It was a great dominating win. They had a 20-point lead, but of course, they lost that lead. It was incredible if you did watch the game, and it did end up going to overtime after Christian Braun hit a clutch 3 to put the Nuggets up by 3 with only 1 second left in regulation. But somehow, and if you watch my Twitter, I was pretty upset about this, Kevin Durant was left wide open. The best scorer in NBA history was left wide open on the 3-point line. And of course, he's going to hit the buzzer beater to send the game to overtime. But luckily, the Nuggets are dominant in overtime. I believe they haven't lost yet in an overtime game. They've been very, very stout when it goes to those late game situations. They'll blow a lead in the fourth quarter, but then they will close it out in overtime. And it goes kind of as to what I've said about back-to-backs. And I'll get more into back-to-backs in the next segment. But with the back-to-backs, the Nuggets aren't as good in the first game. They aren't. They don't play as hard. Something about it, they're trying to conserve their energy, because then in the second game, they go out and they've been winning the second games off back-to-backs. The second night off back-to-backs, the Nuggets have been playing very well. They're only, I believe, 13-2. It's around that number. They've won most of their games on the second night of back-to-backs, and it's because they are very good at conserving their energy and only spending it when they have to. Now, after they split this weekend, the Nuggets fell back down to 3rd in the West with a record of 41-23, but they do have a chance to rise up again, as it is a Nuggets game day. The Nuggets get a second chance to beat the Thunder tonight. Yesterday, the Nuggets and the Thunder played, and it ended in a brutal 127-103 loss for the good guys. So unfortunate that happened. But the Thunder are good. They are 1st in the West, and most people think that they're a top contender of the league. So if the Nuggets can split this mini series, it may give them some fuel if they meet again in the playoffs. Now, the Thunder have a 2-1 series lead over the Nuggets, and this is the 4th and final matchup that these teams will see each other this season. So again, hopefully in the postseason, this will be a great matchup. I really think that the Nuggets match up well against this Thunder team, and they just got to go out there and conserve their energy and beat them where they know that their game is. And where their game is, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikola Jokic are always going to go off. They're the top 2 in MVP voting. They're always going to be the best on the floor. So what do you have to do then? You got to look to your second. You got to look to your second best player. Jamal Murray has to turn up. You saw it yesterday. Jalen Williams, he didn't play very well in the first half, and I'm actually stealing part of this from whoever it was. I think it's Stephen A. Smith. He was talking, and it's rare that I agree with Stephen A. Smith, but he had a great point that the second best player is going to have to be the guy to win this series. Because Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, they're going to do their thing. They're going to play incredibly. But Jamal Murray has to turn up. And we saw it yesterday. Jalen Williams turned up for the Thunder, and they ended up winning that game handedly. Now, the Nuggets are heading into this game as massive 8-point underdogs. That's not very often you're seeing the Nuggets coming as underdogs. But the game will tip off at 6 p.m. tonight. I'm definitely going to be interested to see how that one goes out. It will kind of give a preview into how the postseason is going to go. These are some of the top teams in the West and some of the top teams in the league. So definitely interested in seeing how this game is going to go tonight. Now, moving on, the Avalanche destroyed the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday. Now, don't look now, but the Avs are hot. The Avalanche were heading into their matchup with the Leafs on Sunday with a 4-game win streak, and they were coming off the back of a 7-3 win over the Sharks. So what did they do? They put up 7 points again. I never thought that I would say this, but I am so glad Val Nichushkin is back on the ice for the Avalanche. Oh my goodness, he recorded a hat trick alert, and an assist in the blowout win. Just great 4 points for him. Nathan Mackinnon also put up 2 goals to easily handle the Leafs and recorded his 100th point of the season. Great play from those 2 guys. Mackenzie Blackwood didn't have his best game. He saved 17 shots, but let 4 through. Luckily, the offense for the Avalanche just really turned up and carry that win. Now, after this win, the Avs are now 3rd place in the Central Division, 2 points ahead of the Wild. It's going to be very important for them to keep that right there. They need to keep growing. They need to split this. They need to grow a difference between them and the Wild, because the Wild are right on their tail. Now, luckily, it is an Avalanche game day tonight. The Avs are looking to extend their win streak to 6 in a row as they take on the Chicago Blackhawks in their 3rd matchup of the season. Now, as I was saying, the Avs have the opportunity to pull away from the Wild in the standings, as this should be a pretty easy game for the Avs. It really shouldn't be that hard. The Blackhawks have sent their last 3 games to overtime, though, and have won 1 of them. So the Avs need to avoid a shootout. Instead, let the defense do the talking. Get Mackenzie Blackwood back to where he needs to be. This guy has been great all season. There's no reason that the Avs can't win this game 3-1 or 4-1. And sure, it's great. The Avalanche offense is looking like the best offense in the league out there right now. I mean, 7-7, 4-5-5. That's been how many points they've scored in the past several games. So they just need to go out there and play their game, let their game do the talking, and this should be a pretty easy game. The Avs are heading into tonight's game as 2-point favorites, and it will begin at 7 p.m. Very excited to watch that one as well. The Avs are looking fun right now. They're fun to watch. They've been playing great. Those 2 games that they lost coming out of the Four Nations face-off, they've just taken off. They saw those losses, and they know what they need to do. They're pushing for the playoffs. They got it. They got it. They're playing very well right now. This is the best I've seen them play all year. Now, moving on, a few of the top targets for the Broncos this offseason are now off the board. A few weeks ago, I talked about Nick Bolton and Aaron Jones and how they were listed as best fits for the Broncos, but unfortunately, they won't be coming to Denver. Nick Bolton signed a 3-year, $45 million contract extension with the Chiefs, and Aaron Jones signed a 2-year, $20 million contract extension with the Vikings over the weekend. Now, free agency is just getting started, and it's already pretty wild. Along with those 2, Zach Bond was another option for the Broncos, and he also signed an extension with the Eagles. T. Higgins was franchise tagged. He was my favorite. I wanted the Broncos to go get T. Higgins so badly, but again, the Bengals franchise tagged him for the 2nd year in a row. And then DK Metcalf, who was on the trade block. Wow, that would have been huge if the Broncos could have gotten him. But yesterday, he was traded to the Steelers. Would have been great. One more big name offensively. He's a great threat. Cooper Kupp is still out there. Somebody like that. The Broncos should go get Cooper Kupp. They could probably get him for a 3rd-round pick. If they just give the Rams a 3rd-rounder for Cooper Kupp, I would be all for that. Now, he was informed by the Rams that they would be seeking a trade, so that's somebody that I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos are already talking to right now. Now, that'll do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I do want to see a few of your comments. Good morning, Joey. Good morning, Michael. Broncos re-signed nose tackle DJ Jones. Yeah, no, I was going to put that in there. I'm glad you commented. Huge. DJ Jones is great. Jared Stidham, yep, special teams alongside Mitch Fabroni. The Broncos meeting with tight end Evan Ingram today. I didn't see that, actually. Evan Ingram would be great. Evan Ingram's a solid tight end. I'm leaning more towards the drafting a tight end. I get it. They want to stack their tight end room. I'm definitely leaning more towards drafting either a Colston Loveland or a Tyler Warren. But if neither of those guys aren't available, I mean, it's all a gamble. So go and get Evan Ingram. Be huge. Definitely be huge for the Broncos. Now, that'll do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I'll see you guys all tomorrow, hopefully recapping a Nuggets and an Avalanche win. Should be big. This OKC game is going to be just huge tonight. It's going to be huge. But that'll do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I'll see you all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.